All right, let's talk about one of the weirdest things we all deal with every single day, the bizarre, stretchy, totally elastic nature of time itself.
You know the feeling, right? You plan for months, you're so excited, you finally get there, and then whoosh, it feels like it's over in a heartbeat. The best week of your year just vanishes.
But then, on the flip side, you have that 1-hour meeting. You're just staring at the wall, watching the second hand on the clock, and every tick feels like 100 years. So what on earth is going on here?
Well, what if I told you that this mental time travel isn't just a feeling? It's actually a core feature of how our brains build our reality. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to peek inside this amazing computer simulation, a sort of digital laboratory that was built to model exactly this.
Okay, so here's the absolute fundamental idea. Your brain doesn't just have some perfect little clock inside it, passively measuring seconds. No, it actively generates your sense of time passing based on what it's doing. Time isn't something you just watch, it's something your mind literally creates moment by moment.
So to take this idea apart, researchers built this incredible digital world. Think of it like a complete simulated universe in a computer, designed for just one thing: to figure out subjective time. It's like a sandbox where we can play with the machinery of consciousness itself.
And inside this digital lab, you've got all the essential parts. There's a virtual world for an observer to explore. There's the observer itself, moving along its own unique path. You've got a memory system so it can actually learn. And, this is the most important part, there are 3 totally separate clocks all ticking at once.
And this is where things get really, really interesting. See, to model how we experience things, the simulation doesn't use just one clock. It actually breaks time down into 3 different layers. And if you can understand these 3 clocks, you've basically unlocked the whole puzzle.
First up, we have what's called proper time. This is the boring one, haha. It's the objective, physics-based time. You can just think of it as a super accurate stopwatch in the observer's pocket. It just ticks away, nice and steady. Second, there's block universe time. Now this is the master clock for the whole simulated world, the environment itself. It just unfolds on its own, doing its thing, completely separate from anyone inside it. It's the background rhythm of this little universe. And then we get to the third one, GU time. Now GU stands for graphical user interface, but really, you should just think of it as your time. This is the big one. It's the subjective, internal clock in your head, the one that stretches and shrinks and drives you crazy in meetings. So just to recap, we've got 3 layers all going at once: the observer's personal stopwatch, the universe's master clock, and then the stretchy subjective clock inside the mind. And you know what? It's the gap between that last one and the other 2 that explains, well, everything. So this leads to the big question, right? What is actually powering that subjective clock? If it isn't ticking at a steady rate, what makes it speed up and slow down? Well, the answer is so simple and so elegant. It's surprise. Just think about how your own brain works for a second. When you're in a familiar situation, like driving the same route to work every day, there's almost nothing new to process. Your brain is basically on autopilot. But when something totally new happens, you explore a new city, you see something unexpected, your brain has to kick into high gear. It has to learn. It has to update its map of the world. And the entire engine of our subjective time can basically be boiled down to this one simple little formula. Don't worry about the symbols. All it's saying is this: the forward march of your inner clock is directly tied to how much surprise you're experiencing. The more surprise, the faster time feels like it's moving. You can think of it like this little loop that's constantly running in your head. You see something, you instantly compare to what you already know, and your brain calculates the difference, the surprise factor. If it's a tiny surprise, your internal clock gets a tiny tick forward. If it's a huge, whoa, what was that moment, your clock takes a giant leap. So the crucial point here is that learning itself is what drives our feeling of time. When you're learning a ton, like on that incredible vacation or when you're deep into a new hobby, you are processing so much surprising information. Your subjective clock just races ahead, and time feels like it's flying. When you're bored, there's no surprise, no learning, and that internal clock just slows to a crawl. But the simulation doesn't stop there. Oh no, it gets even weirder and honestly a little mind-bending when we start asking, what happens when you put more than one mind in the mix? The next level up introduces multiple observers and this wild feedback loop between them.
So in this more advanced version, each mind actually has two internal clocks. There's a fast one for reaction to immediate stuff, the fleeting now. But there's also a slower, more stable clock that kind of builds your life story, your sense of self over the long haul. And this becomes super important when these minds start to interact.
But here is the real kicker. The simulation poses this really profound question. What if the act of thinking itself could actually feed back and change the physical environment? What if our shared thoughts could alter our shared reality?
Okay, get this. Here's how it works in the simulation. When one observer has a huge aha moment, a big learning event, it doesn't just stay inside their head. That mental event actually injects a little bit of noise or turbulence back out into the shared world. It's like one person's moment of discovery creates a tiny ripple in the pond that everyone else can feel. It literally makes the world a little more unpredictable for everybody. So, after this whole journey through this digital universe, what's the takeaway? What does this model really tell us about our own lives and our own crazy experience of time? Well, it means our sense of time isn't something that just happens to us. It's something our brain does. The speed of our life is tied directly to the speed of our learning. If your life is filled with new things and growth, it's going to feel rich and full. If it's all routine, it's going to feel like it's slipping away. And on a much deeper level, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, our individual minds are all interconnected, subtly shaping the reality we share.
If you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this right here. Subjective time isn't about some cosmic clock, it's the rhythm of your own learning. It's the beat of your own discovery.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. If our perception of time is really just a story we build from moments of surprise and learning, well, then it means we have a lot more control than we think. By seeking out new experiences, by choosing to learn, are we, in a very real sense, the authors of our own time?